Welcome to the first Nasterclass. Number one, Naster, David Naster. What is the Nasterclass? You just have to laugh. Let me tell you where the name came from. True story. I'm going to be telling you true stories all the way through this, and here's why. A guy named Einstein, you ever heard of him? Einstein went by one name, much like Cher. What Einstein said was, example is not another way to teach. It's the only way to teach. And that is how I'm going to teach you how to laugh during life's most difficult times. You just have to laugh as simply, humor makes tough times better. You just have to laugh. Humor makes tough times better. Not laughter makes tough times better, humor. And I'll get to that in just a little bit. But what is it exactly? Here's the story. Years ago, I did a show in Edgerton, Kansas, a small town. I started off as a mime and a clown. And this was only about 100 people at the church, but the town had about 250 people in it. Anyway, I convinced a man, because I did audience participation, at that time. I got a guy to come up, real tall. I got a guy to come up out of the congregation, and he stood on stage. He's 6 foot. I'm 5. I may be 5'5". I convinced this guy to get on a stick horse, put a kazoo in his mouth, make sounds of a horse. I jumped on my unicycle, which I knew how to ride, and I put a kazoo in my mouth, made sound of a motorcycle. We raced around the outside, inside the outside of the perimeter of the church. First one across the pulpit got to nail the other one with a power soaker. And of course I let him win, let him nail me. It was funny. Big laugh. Everybody's laughing. I looked over. The minister's laughing so hard he's crying. I'm walking to my car afterwards giving thanks. The guy that I had on stage had followed me to my car. And he goes, "Sir, could I talk to you?" I said, "Of course." He said, "I want to thank you." And I put out my hand. Wouldn't take my hand. Broke that space that makes us comfortable, that we save for very special people in our lives. And he said, "I want to thank you, sir. You don't understand. 3 months ago, I lost my baby boy. He died. And this is the first time I've been able to laugh. And I want to thank you for reminding me why. You just have to laugh." And he wipes tears out of his eyes, pats me on the shoulder, and walks off. And I am standing in the middle of a parking lot in Edgerton, Kansas, going, "Dear Lord, what was that?" Folks, listen, I had no idea humor could help people get through a difficult time. When I'm on stage, I'm fighting for my comedy life. I'm not really thinking how it affects your life, quite honestly. But that's when I discovered how making people laugh will make a difference in their life. But there was more to it than the laughter. So I started interviewing people. I wanted to find out how humor does help people get through a difficult time. That is what You Just Have to Laugh is all about. Now, why? Why do I do it? Well, because I saw that effect. But I've seen the effect that it has on people. That's why I do what I do. Because you just have to laugh. The goal is simply healing the world one laugh at a time. That's why I do it. How to do it? Aha. That's what people want to know, and that's what this class is about. How do you make tough times humorous, funnier than they are? How do you make not so funny situations funny? Here's an example. A woman came up to me after a presentation, and she said, "David, my husband got his leg cut off because of cancer." And she said, "Well, admit that's not funny. We all know there's nothing funny about that." She goes, "I'm waiting for him in the recovery room. They bring him in. He comes to. And I said, "Honey, the doctor said you're going to be fine. You're going to recover. It's going to take some time, but you're going to be well better." And I just have to tell you, I did a little research, and we can't make it on my income. You're going to need to get a job, and I have an application here for you to IHOP. Now, hopefully you know that IHOP stands for International House of Pancakes, but it has a double meaning. It has IHOP, one leg hop. We get the joke. That's one of the ways you make things funny is with wordplay. You switch the meanings around to do it, and she did that. There's something else we're going to get into later is why that works. What is your intention for using humor? We're going to get that at another time. But that's how you do it. Wordplay is the first thing you have. One of the easiest ways to do it. That's why people like puns, is because it's wordplay. That's why kids like puns. By the way, this kid told me the greatest pun. She's 6 years old. She goes, "Mr. Naster, do you know why the toilet paper did not cross the road?" I go, "No, why?" "Got stuck in a crack." 6 years old. That kid's already starting to think funny. That is humor, to think funny. Now, if you don't think funny, you don't know how to do it, that's the first thing you have to do. You have to have the will to think funny. You have to. And you have to be very playful with your ideas to make things funny. And it's something you have to learn. How do people do it? I grew up with a funny dad, a funny grandpa. Mom's side of the family was not funny. Dad's side of the family was very funny, very sarcastic. If you grew up with a sarcastic family, you know how to think funny because everybody's playing on words and they're messing around with that. Sarcasm, we'll get to that at a later time. But that is the first class you just went through with the Nasterclass of humor. How do you do it? First is wordplay. Now, the next class, we're going to get into the next two, which is absurdity and ridiculous. That's humor. Laughter, completely different. Here is your assignment for next week. Did you know? Well, I'll just show you. That ought to be 20 seconds. Now, let me get the oxygen back in my brain. Whew. You know, they say the endorphins are kicked off when you laugh. I think it's the oxygen coming back in your brain. Okay, what I just did was 20 seconds of hard laughter proved by Dr. William Fry. Dr. William Fry now is a psychology emeritus at some dumpy little community college out in Palo Alto called Stanford. Ever heard of it? That's to see if you're listening. What Dr. Fry discovered, scientifically proven, 20 seconds of hard laughter is worth 3 minutes of rigorous exercise. Did you hear that? What do you want to go to the gym or you want to laugh? I mean, I can make you laugh till you cry, but if I can make you laugh till you're skinny, I'd be worth a lot more than I am right now. I'll tell you that. And I'd watch my own videos and laugh and get rid of all this stuff, which I'm getting rid of. Anyway, that's it. Humor is the way we think funny. How do you do it? With wordplay. You saw that first. Your assignment till the next class, which we're going to get into, how do you bring absurdity and ridiculousness and exaggeration to make things? That's the next class. Your assignment in the meantime is to laugh every day for 20 seconds. I suggest you start off in the morning. I suggest you stand in front of the mirror. I suggest you do it before you go to bed. I suggest at work, if it's a difficult time, you go in a stall and laugh your head off and watch how good you feel. 20 seconds of hard laughter is worth 3 minutes of rigorous exercise. Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? Thanks for coming to the first Nasterclass. Number two is coming up. Well, I guess I better hurry. See you next time. Think funny, keep laughing, stay amused.